if I run into this or bump, I don't know where to be. Okay, can you guys hear me if I like, I'm not gonna use the mic. Okay, all right, so quick, let me just tell you, we're gonna talk about creating a successful jumper. First I was like, creating the most successful jumper, and I was like, oh, let's just creating a successful jumper, and that can mean a lot of different things. You know what I mean? When we're talking about athletes, it can mean they improve personally, they go to state, they just have fun. So just creating that successful jumper, I'm gonna get into a bunch of stuff. But before we do that, I think you saw my bio, but I just wanna just quickly just introduce myself. So it's not boring. I'm trying to make this fun, and if you can't hear me and you wanna come up, go ahead. But I, in 5th grade, I think like a lot of girls, used to beat the boys. That was my first love for track. I was beating the boys on the playground. Like, that's where my track, I was like, I'm fast, I like this. And then my love for field came when my dad in high school, he'd take me out to the long jump runway. He'd hold a rake, the handle, and I would run and jump over that. I didn't ask any questions. It was just that moment I'm like, I knew I love it. I knew I loved it. That's like my first memory of just loving it. So fast forward, I competed in high school, went to college at SDSU, and know some people in here, kind of cool. South Dakota State, not San Diego State University. Everyone's like, SDSU, you went to San Diego State? I'm like, yeah, okay. No, Brookings, South Dakota. All right, so I went there, and what's funny is I was like a 17-foot long jumper in high school. I did not get a scholarship, really. I wrote them a letter, because back then you wrote letters or emails. You didn't like have what you have today. And I was like, hey, I really want to run track here. I thought South Dakota would be warmer than Wisconsin, because I was from Wisconsin. Anyway, ended up going there, loving it there. Jumped there, triple jump, tried the heptathlete, sprinter, did a bunch of stuff there, but we were just talking about this. So in college at SDSU, if you've never or aware, we had a 150-meter indoor little 3 or 4 lane track, no long jump hit. So I went there a 17-foot jumper. I left there a 20-foot 5 long jumper. So kind of exciting that if you just work hard, you don't need a long jump hit, but it helps. Anyway, just kind of my story where I came from. So that passion and love has always been there for me. I graduated with a master's degree in sports psychology. I'm like, I'm gonna be a college track coach. That's where I'm going. So I went to St. Olaf for a couple years. Decided to have 4 kids. 10 years ago, I started teaching at St. Michael. So I never really pursued my dream, but it has been really wonderful at St. Michael or STMA doing jumps, sprints. I started as a sprint coach and then long and triple jump 10 years ago. So I'm starting my 11th season. I think that's all I want to tell you about me and background. Had a lot of success there. I think all of you are coaches and we continually are learning. So if today you can get something from me, this is my recipe, how I've had success with, I think I've had 5 state jumpers first place, and then 20 people have made it to the podium in 10 years. So something's working. You don't just get handed really good athletes like that. We all know that. Maybe we have that one athlete, that one Anna Kiefer that comes around once in a lifetime, and you get that Anna Kiefer and that is amazing, and everyone's like, that coach is awesome. No, that athlete and that coach figured out how to make everything work together. So, all right, that's gonna keep happening. I think I'm skinny, just kidding. All right, so if you guys have any questions, chirp up, let me know. The 3 things we're gonna talk about is training, mental prep, and then really think important is the culture and the practice environment. So the culture of your program, the culture of maybe not the whole program, because we know we're split up into all our sections, but as far as what you do with your jumpers, because everyone has their own group and a little niche gets created, and then the team comes together. But track is a big sport. It's a lot of events. Try not telling you anything you don't know. So let's start out with just training. I kind of like to teach by doing. So we're gonna get started with training. Okay, so day 1, you're starting with jumps. You have some returners, you have some people that have never jumped. What I think is the most important thing is your foot. Your foot. People have to learn what your foot does, because, am I right? In triple jump, it is different foot placement. Your foot contact on the ground is the biggest thing as far as your success. So foot drill. So day one, I'm like, I'm gonna talk about what your foot is. So I'm gonna have each athlete hold their knee up, dorsiflex. When I say load your leg, it means that you can't push it down. That means it's loaded. So I'm talking about loaded, dorsiflex, toe up, knee up. I'm always talking about that, toe up, knee up. If we're triple jumping, it's very important. And that is really like the main event that is so unique with the footwork. Because if you try to be toey, or if you hit with your heel, you're gonna get injured. So I like to just start out with that. All right, so flat foot. If on day one, we're gonna talk about that dorsiflex, toe up, and then we're gonna go through just marching. So flat foot, toe up, marching drill. So I'm gonna have them just go maybe down and back 30 meters with just a flat foot, feeling the contact. So knee up, toe up, and we're gonna just flat foot. Bring it out, put it down, flat foot. Real basic, you know, just marching with a flat foot. Because most people aren't paying attention to what their foot does. They're just like doing what they've done their whole entire life. Okay, so then I'll move to simple hops. So I had this in the car and forgot it, but they let me borrow it. Did you guys see this? It like changes. It's two heights. Anyway. So then I just simply will start with, and you know, you have middle school kids that come up that have bad habits already. That is painful. So hopefully you can get someone that's never triple jump. They're just a new little bird you can. All right, so if you can see me or if you can't see me, simply our hurdle hops. The second thing I would do with them, just real simple. So you're gonna start with a flat foot, and I'm just gonna have them hop. That's it. They're gonna hop over that mini little hurdle. They're gonna do, here's the important part, both legs. Even if you only hop on your left, we gotta work the left and the right, balance it out. I tend to sometimes get into season and go, oh my gosh, we're just doing our hop leg and we're not really working on our opposite, but that really creates balance. All right, so just that's number 2, hop drill. Oh, thank you. It's gonna keep happening. You have to put in my password. I was just gonna write it up here.
It should be up.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry.
That's okay.
How many
That's okay.
hurdles do you do?
I got it on my iPad too. I'm double unlocked and loaded. I can write it up here too. You guys doing good? Are we good? Good? Okay.
How many
All right.
hurdles do you have in hop over? Is it just
Okay, so day one. So I'm kind of starting with day one. You walk in day one, because we all have day one, right? We're all gonna have day one. And I would just start with one. Everybody has their own. And I just have them hop, turn around, hop. We're gonna do the right leg, the left leg. Just so they understand what a hop is. And I'm emphasizing keeping your toe up, flat foot contact. I'm emphasizing that. So after we march and they understand how the foot placement is, I talk about the foot placement in triple jump so much. And it's really hard. I think that's the hardest thing. Because some people, this is what I've had happen, toe up, and then guess what they do? Toe up, and their toe's still up and they're hitting their heel. You know what I mean? So it is just understanding foot placement. But keep asking questions, it's so much more fun. I don't want to just bark at you. Okay, so, oh, and it's long jump again.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Can you switch it to, I got it on my iPad so I can talk about it, but so I don't lose track. Okay, all right, so then after we do some hops, I move into what I just recently, I didn't do this like 5 years ago, is ankling or dribbling. If you're not familiar with that, that is contacting with a flat foot. And the other thing too is, do you always talk with your jumpers about, okay, we're jogging, that's kind of a heel toe. We're jogging, heel toe. We're sprinting, that's on the ball mount of our feet. We're triple jumping, what is that? What is that? You know, that's that flat foot. It's a different contact, but when you're in the air, toe can't be drippy, but you can't jack up and land on your heel. So anyway, ankling is my next thing. So these are just real like basic, I start out with this stuff. Ankling is where I have them walk and just pretend they're trying to step over the opposite ankle, flat foot, ankling. So I have them walk. And then once they feel comfortable with the walking, then we turn it into actually doing it. Did anyone want to get up and try? Anyone? No? All right, so ankling, cycling over. Then we go to calfing maybe. Calfing meaning now we're gonna go over the calf. And you know what's crazy about all this? I have to pause for a minute. We can go on YouTube and find all this and learn all this. That's why I'm not showing any videos. I just thought I would talk about it and show you, right? We're in that, I think when I went to a clinic, 10 years ago, we didn't have that. We didn't do that as much. Now we're all like, just go on the internet. So, all right. So ankling, and then maybe you move up to knee. So then you're trying to just cycle over the other knee. So last thing is triple jump is, this is just the hop phase. We haven't even started the step, right? We're still on hop. We're hopping, we're teaching them that it is a cycle. So you've all had athletes, maybe if you're new to this or you're not new, that do the peg leg. They hop, I call it the peg leg, right? It's because they don't know, they don't understand. And that's gonna go nowhere, you know? Then you got the athlete that like, huge, big monster, and then puts on the brakes when they can't go to the next phase. So anyway, I like to just really just break it down. I don't ever let them put the whole thing together for a while, maybe 2 weeks, if they're new to jumping or if they have bad habits, because they're just gonna repeat that. Okay, so, oh, I knew that was gonna happen. All right, well, if you guys need that, let me know. You have to just stand back here, Matthew. Just kidding. All right, so we got all my drills. So those are just basic drills, not a lot of impact besides that hop over. The other thing you can do too is like lines. If you don't have wickets, you have lines maybe on your indoor facility somewhere on your track or wherever in your gym. I just have them hop to a line, you know, hop to the line, hop forward and back. Just keep them hopping until they understand how they have to be flat-footed. Okay.
Tiffani, can you explain number 3 on day
Yes.
1 that says standing one leg up 90%?
Oh yeah, I did that first, and I shouldn't have done that. So standing. So, well, oh wait, which one? I'm sorry.
Well, I remember you talking about hopping over the wicket.
Yep.
Then turning around, hopping back.
Are you talking about 3?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I actually made that first. So this was it. Load your leg, and then I even make them run. Stand here, do this. I love this. So they're activating that knee up. They're using their arms to pump and run, and then switch. So maybe 20, 30 seconds, and then switch. Knee up, toe up. Watching that they keep that knee up, toe up. I love this again. This is something new I incorporated. That's why the jumpers keep getting better. But the talent pool isn't maybe there, right? Okay. Right? You don't have the greatest talent pool. You just have to find those ways. Okay. I'm just going to keep wiggling this so it knows it's to stay alive. Okay. So day 1, good. Did I hit everything? Yeah, just keep talking to me. It's more fun when we talk and you have questions and we engage and I can figure out. So day 2, I just say day 2, maybe the second time you meet with them. You can repeat everything on day 1 again when they're new. I don't do this basic 1 stuff probably 6 weeks into the program. You know, I don't have to go back unless someone's like not getting it, then repeat that. So day 2 and beyond, now we're gonna start bounding. I like to do 3 sets of 6 in the beginning. 6 should be 6 single hops, could be 6. So again, make them do the right leg and the left leg equal. Even though I hop off my left, I don't need to practice hopping off my right, coach, right? No, hop off both. So that's the other thing. Even as the season goes on and you're practicing the jump, notice if you have a tendency to not get as much work in on both sides. And you need to do that because that's gonna help them be a stronger jumper, their balance, their core. Okay, right and left leg single hops. So then, I love this one. After, I don't make them, so you can run into it and then start your hops, you know? I'm like, oh, the double armor. Is that old school or what? I can't, not double arm. Okay, but I would have them do their single hops from a standing position. So, hop, hop. You know, I would have them hop off their standing position. Once they feel comfortable with that, then I let them do what I talked about here is like a simple little jog into it. So just get a little momentum. Maybe just go 1, 2, 3, and then you start your hops. Because you know how the momentum gets you moving and they feel more successful. Because you want them to feel successful. Okay, so that is day 2. Alternate bounding. Now I'm going to introduce the step phase. So how I introduce the step phase is just by simply showing them a lunge and being like, what is the position you're in when you lunge? Step phase. This is if I could lift you up in the air, this is what I want you to look like. This is how I want you to be in the step phase. So we'll get into a lunge, I'll show that, and then we'll try alternating bounding. I have a trick if someone can't do bounding. A lot of people are like, they just look like they're running, right? Okay, I have them zigzag to start with. So, anyone want a demo? Who's younger than me here? Everybody? All right, well, so I would have them zigzag. I would have them step here, step here. For some reason they can get that. Step here, hello, step here. And then boom, boom, you're going forward with it. You're moving it forward. What are their arms doing? I don't care in the beginning, you know, because that's just gonna be too much for the high school athlete to figure out. I think I had one kid double arm, but I was just used single arms. I can't even do single arms because I was like 1991, learned to double arm. Why do we double arm? Do any girls double arm anymore? No. You're like, why are you asking me? You're the one presenting. Okay. Okay, little mouse. So then,
Tiffany, maybe
yeah.
on that question. I mean, I just,
Yes.
over the years, have just let the girls kind of do whatever they end up doing. I mean, do you, I don't want to try to get ahead a little bit on,
No,
but
it's
do you
okay.
do much with their arms?
It's a good time. Once they get long enough, and I feel like they can handle that, you know, don't think about the arms, but then if their legs are great, and then I'm like, okay, how are we gonna go further? You know, arms, basic like this. So as we're triple jumping in your step phase. So if we're doing bounding, step phase, so hop is 1, step is 2. Arm swinging like this. I had one guy that wanted to learn to double arm, but then there's this. You see that? You know, if you can teach that, I do have some athletes that can do it. I taught it to them. So you're hopping, and then the swing with the arms. I don't know. I have some kids that figured it out and can go into their step like this. But look, you're still in this position on your step. So just do this when we're doing alternating bounding. Any other questions? Am I demoing okay? Is it making sense? Does it look okay? Like, no, we need to see a young athlete here doing it on the screen. Okay. All right. Now, this is kind of like my favorite part, and I'm not going to spend the whole time on drills, but it is the meat and potatoes of kind of what I'm doing. Not necessarily, we're not talking about the technique of triple jump, we're talking about how to get to that meat and be ready. Okay, so hop, hop, step, step. So this one's hard for people. We're going to do a little run in. We're going to take hop, hop on 2 legs. They got to learn to step. Then this one's going to go down, hop, hop, and then you're going to step. So 2 hops on the right, step, 2 hops on the left, step. So this is like if they're ready to do this, and it's not necessarily day 2, it's day 2 for my returning jumpers, because they're pretty seasoned and get pretty good after a season. They come back and it's like muscle memory is cool. They can really do that. But I tried on a new athlete, and if they're exceptional and they got it, do it. If not, I say, okay, we're gonna go back and not quite move to that one. You're still doing single hops, alternating hops, but hop, hop, step, hop, hop, step, you know, hop, hop, step. I love that drill. Yelling at them, me up too. Okay, is it hot in here? Just kidding. Okay. All right, let's wiggle the mouse and go on. Single. This one I should have got a video for, because this one's gonna be hard, but I like this one. So for your step phase, standing in place, bring it up, you know, just like jump up. I don't know, can I do the other way? So you're just jumping up, going to step phase. Athletes can do it amazing. I can't. But you get the gist? Bouncing up, step phase, in place. If they can do it in place, holy moly, then they're going to be able to put this together. Okay. Last thing. When you get to the pit in May, right? Right? Really? When you get to go to the pit in May, just kidding. Or if you have an indoor facility with a pit. This is like, again, I didn't do this 5 years ago. It's my favorite new drill. You see it all over the internet, whatever. Step, step, and then you're gonna jump into the pit. Again, work both sides. So give them a few step run up into it. They're gonna go step right, step left, contact. Now they're long jump. Now they've just done the 3rd phase. And they don't have to hop before it. They're just getting that step and jump. Make sense? Yeah, so that one, and I just do 2. Make sure they alternate. So they're gonna go right, left, jump, and then after 3 of those, they're gonna go left, right, jump. Again, you're gonna get work on both sides. Yeah. And if they want to run a little faster, because we all know if we put speed behind that, we can push into the pit, right? Did you guys go to the other triple jump one? No, anyone?
Like
Yeah. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. So he really talked about the technique and all that. Is everything aligning? Cool, good, just checking. Okay, let's finish up. Not gonna spend a lot of time on this because I believe the other session did, but if you're here and you didn't do the other session, I'll just, last component is run-throughs. So we get to, there we go. Run-throughs. 6-step. I say 6. Could be 12 in your brain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Remember this. I know you know this because the kids will forget. What leg am I jumping on? My left? I have to start with my left in front. You know, that's always just like, you have to be looking, I look at their feet like 90% of the time. I'm like, there we go. So I would do a 6-step run through with them. I do this at least once a week because the most important part is being on the board, because if you're 3 feet behind the board and you're a great jumper, it doesn't matter. You know, so we have to find some ground. So run throughs, I'll just kind of leave it at that. At practice, if you have a lot of kids, you might be able to get three run-throughs with each athlete. If I have an athlete run through twice, they are on, and I got a bunch of kids, I'm gonna be like, okay, you can go do your sprint workout, or I have other things we're gonna do for your workout today, or no. Usually run-throughs are like, I don't do anything else that day, FYI. Like, I'm not gonna do, so day 1, day 2, this is your day 3. Well, it says it right there. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, maybe move to 8 steps or 16 when you get outdoors. Even numbers, 6 and 8, move to that when you get outside. If you want, but maybe you don't have to. That's the farthest I go outdoors with your steps. So really basic, just, you know, I'm always like talking to them like they're an athlete and they're not gonna get technical jargon. You know, coaches come in here and they have all these technical things. Well, the kids don't. You know, we have to speak on their level. So that's what I think works for me. Not that anyone else is not doing that too that has success, because being technical. So, I always, this last thing, run-throughs. I always have them do a hop. So when they do their run-throughs, I always have them hop. It doesn't even seem productive to do a run-through without your hop. So they gotta take their hop when they do their run-throughs.
Yeah, you don't have them just run all the way through.
Nope. I mean, okay, so day 1, they maybe get their steps. So we do a run back, call it, or whatever. Just set up some tape, have them start the line, run, I count their 6 steps. Okay, all right, you're at 65. And then after they get that mark, if they're new and they don't feel comfortable hopping, they'll have to run through. But if they're like ready to hop, have them hop, or at least have them hop on the 3rd one, have them try to hop. So important. Same thing at the meet, you know, when you're at the meet. My triple jumpers, I just tell them to hop right away. If they're good and warmed up, I don't have them do a run through without hopping, because anybody have athletes that like their run through and their hop are totally different? Like, yeah, their hop is over or way behind. So why are you wasting your time doing run throughs when it's not going to be on? So just efficient with that. Any other questions? Okay.
We talked yesterday about like not doing full approach and stuff. I get that with college athletes because they've jumped so many times by that point, but with the high school kids, a lot of them, especially the new jumpers, haven't really had a full jump. So I find that my athletes a couple days before a meet, I'll let them take a full approach and jump because they're just not used to it.
Okay, isn't that funny? This is my philosophy on that. I'm so glad you said that. I don't let anyone do a full jump at practice. I just don't, because they want to measure it, they want to do it, and then they're disappointed because it's practice and their adrenaline, unless I need to have a jump off, which maybe it's happened once. So I don't ever do a full jump. Because then they develop bad habits, because they're trying to rush through and get the whole thing put together. So that's why I love we do this chunk, we do this chunk. Now we put 1 and 2 together, now we put 2 and 3 together, you know? I've even gotten to the point where I don't even like to call it the hop, because people are like, ha! I'm like, it's actually a run. You know what I mean? It's a run on the same leg. So I started to say, let's think of this as you're running off your leg and you gotta land on that same leg. Run instead of hop, because they want to go so high. So that's the other thing too. That is I think it's about strength. A college athlete or an athlete that's really dedicated to their strength training can have the muscle to understand that they're going to run, step, jump, and not hop so high in the air, then they're dead in the water, they can't get out of their step, and then they jump. because I have so many kids that just doesn't matter what I do with them, they still really hop high, and I think it's a maturity strength thing, except for those exceptional athletes. You know, if you're just trying to take somebody that's a good athlete and have them triple jump, they still. I have this one girl. She went to state. She still goes super high in her hop, and we're talking about we're trying to get this down. And I think as she was only a sophomore. I think as she gets older by her senior year, she's gonna get that because she's lifting weights, strength training. So don't get frustrated, I guess, with if they're listening. All right. Let's see.
Can I ask,
yeah.
ask for clarif- So are you saying that in practice, you
Yes.
don't have them put all three parts together?
Not with the full approach.
With the
Not
full
with the full approach.
approach.
Never do they run all the way down 6 steps as fast as they can, hop, step, jump. Never at practice. I never have a long jumper do a full long jump at practice, ever. I know this is triple jump, but I would never have you do a 6-step approach. I have to do a pop-up, but never do a full thing at practice. The season's too long. The
Short
athletes.
approaches though?
What?
Short approaches you do? Full.
I would do like a short little 3 or 6, short little 6-step maybe pop-up. We do pop-ups, but yeah, never like your full approach, your cadence, your whole thing, run down 6 or 8, and then do a full jump. I never do that at practice.
Because
Because I just think the season's too long. There's so many meets. I don't think they need to. I think it gets in their head. I don't know. I just think it's what I did. It's what I did. My whole entire life, unless my dad told me to rate. Then he had me, but I didn't know what I was doing then. Yeah.
We never do just because of the pounding and triple jump.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, even a 3-step approach pounds were too much to do many, so we just never.
It depends on your facility too, obviously. You know what I mean? If you've got, depending on your surface of your facility, we get outdoors and we're on the turf, it's different, or we get out on the upper track, it's different. But yeah, I think, I don't see the purpose. I don't see the purpose ever doing a full approach and jump. That's what the meets for. Now, if we were in college and we only did 3 or 4 meets, how many meets do we have? You know what I mean? We have a meet once a week, sometimes twice a week. We have so many meets. That is their time to get that full jump in, and I feel like it works. Because I just feel like they're going to develop bad habits at practice if we just would jump. It's funny because I have this argument with my husband. He doesn't understand why at practice you don't do full jumps. I'm like, I just don't. I never have. I never will. And it's just too much pounding. I think I found too much success doing it the way I do it. Let's before I move on, I just wanted to, is this on here? I just want to make sure practice drills, everything makes sense. Do you guys have any other questions while we're on it? Because the other part is a little quicker. The rest of it I want to talk about, but then I can get on Okay, so it was funny when I was asked to come do this. I was asked if I would do something on putting together the training for an athlete that's in jumps and sprints and multiple events. If you figured that out, you want to share it with me because I still haven't figured it out to this day. We butt heads, sprint coach and we have, I just asked for my 2 days, 45 minutes to an hour with my athletes. Athletes in multiple events, it's never easy at the high school level because each coach wants their time with that athlete. And we get like, oh, I want my athlete, they're not getting enough of their sprint workout in, and they're not going to be a good enough jumper, or they're not getting any jump work in, so they're not going to be good on there. So I haven't figured out the perfect rhythm yet, but do your best. Pivot, right? Pivot. Okay.
And you said you do try to have them do their jumps as you hopefully 2 times a week.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think, was that on here? I think I had the practice. Yeah. So that's what I do. I try to do 2 times a week with bounding, and bounding can start with just your basic toe up stuff, this stuff, and then move into your whole bounding. That's my bounding part. And that's not everything I do. This is just, I could talk for 2 hours about all the drills and all the things I do. This was just a start. This was like, hey, introduce the things that I was like, this is the important, this is the nut. Then I usually get a 3rd day with them, we just run through. So like, hey, let's do run throughs, and then maybe it's pre-meet. I usually tend to do, when we're in season, my run throughs the day before the meet, so it's fresh, they've got all that. And then they got the rest of their, maybe some starts, whatever the athlete, because most jumpers are in more than one event, you know what I mean? They're your all-around long jump, triple jumpers sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. So, and then I encourage them to do 3 times a week weightlifting on their own. We don't do it during track practice. There's a time, right? I encourage them because that's how you peak. That's how weight training keeps you hopefully a little less injured. Kids could start out really good. I find that kids start really good. I'm like, well, did you stop lifting weights? Because now this is what happened. People are like, I shouldn't be lifting during the season. I'm like, you should be only lifting during the season if you did it before. You know, you've built up that base. So I think we all have athletes that are serious about long jump and triple jump, and they're going to go get in the weight room in the morning or after practice or Saturday and Sunday. If they could even do 2 times a week, you know. And I don't want to even get into weightlifting, but what would you do? Squats. Power cleans. I'm a huge fan of that. Squat, power cleans, lunges, jumpers, step ups.
We have a problem, not a problem, but our biggest issue is not multi-event athletes, it's multi-sport athletes.
Yeah.
Hey, my jumpers, I gotta leave for basketball practice, coach.
Yeah.
I gotta go to volleyball practice, coach. And we actually trim those athletes. I mean, at the beginning, how many are doing multiple sports tonight? All right, you're only doing this, you know, because every other coach thinks that they're conditioning them.
Right,
we can't
right.
turn around and condition them twice.
I know.
So it's even
So
worse.
that's interesting because I'm mean. I'm like, this is your season, this is your track, this is your sport. I'm good. You're gonna do what we're gonna do here. They're secondary. They can take whatever I left them with. Whatever's left in you, they can have that. Whatever's left. But yeah, no, we have half our team is soccer. So I get it. Or volleyball or soccer or basketball. No, I know. That's nice that you do that. That's nice you do. I just figure
Otherwise
this
they
is
come out, they're too beat up to even compete.
right. Well, and I'll have a day where a kid comes to practice and they had all their sports. Their body should be in one sport, and then I definitely will be like, all right, go foam roll, you know. But I do it individual basis because some kids can do soccer and track and come in and like, I feel fine, coach, I'm good. You know, it depends on what their soccer program's like or their basketball program. You know, yeah, that's interesting. Any other things? Any other questions? Thoughts? Good. Good. How you guys doing? Do you want to stand up? Do you want to do any drills? Okay. All right. So, again, I could just like talk forever and ever about the drills and stuff, but I want to just save time because I have just, because it's a combination. All right. Okay, let's move on to part 2. Part 2. You can't see part 3. All right. Mental prep. That is like when someone's injured or beat up too, mental prep is a huge part. To sit down and visualize them doing it. So it's not a huge thing, but visualization is my first thing. Like, we'll just sit down and like close your eyes and see yourself doing it. Good. Watch a video. Okay, this is so-and-so and this is a performed perfectly hop step jump. Let's just close our eyes and just see ourselves doing that same technique. I really like to do that. I also just get some, because they're all like going, and then we just kind of sit down and hone in, take some deep breaths, figure that out. I'm a yoga instructor, so I'm all about deep breaths. Sometimes I do yoga with them, and they're always like, I love Savasana. So focus. At practice, what are we doing? Are we like, oh, we're playing, we're talking with our friends, and you're supposed to be up, and then you just go, and it's just garbage. It just irritates me. So I'm like, we need to be, when you're up, if you're waiting in line, you know, you should probably be watching what's going on, but I want you to have fun. This is a good environment, so just focus. At a track meet, they get to a track meet, biggest pet peeve, okay. 25 people standing in line, they're all standing there, you know, it's my favorite thing, whatever. I wish it was like college. And they're standing in line to jump, and they're talking, which is fine. The one athlete's there, and they're focused. So I really tell my athletes, when you are gonna be up, you're getting close to be up, you need to focus, you need just, everything around you disappears, and you look down that runway as your runway, everything else is like blurred. You have to focus on what you're doing. So I really like to emphasize them to focus when they're at the competition, or at practice, focus on the drill. You know, the kids that don't focus on a drill, they don't, it's not gonna go good. So they don't realize, they're like, yeah, I know what I'm supposed to do, but are you actually focusing on the task? Because we got high school attention spans, right? You should see middle school. Okay. Another big thing, and if you have anything to add, I always love to learn. You guys are here, I'm here, hopefully we can learn from each other, but 1Q. So meaning, maybe this is just obvious. I'm trying not to spoon feed you guys, but we're at a meet, and coach is like, what, or athlete's like, what do I need to fix? What's wrong? I'm not gonna say, okay, well, your toe's down, you're not driving your knee. Like, we can't give them 6 things because they're gonna go down and then nothing's gonna happen. So I'm always like, let's pick one thing to focus on. Go down there. Okay, you have to focus on not reaching to the board, or you need to focus on, in that set face, I need you to push through your knee and your hip, whatever it would be, you know. Remember we worked on that long jump, you know, get your arms up at the finish when you're taking off. So I would definitely give them one thing to focus on. Sometimes then I go back there and just jump. Go back there and just jump. Just go jump. And then they'll have one of their best jumps. You know what I mean? Because what? Muscle memory. So that's focus. 1Q. This day and age, I swear my jumpers are so good because of film. I record them at meets. Maybe sometimes at practice, but it's usually too hectic at practice. But at a meet, I'll get someone to record at least 2 or 3 jumps, and then we watch them. I think we all probably do that this day and age. Send them home to them. Yeah.
Do you use a certain program, or does
I used to use Huddle. Then I sometimes just use my iPad. I just put it all on my iPad, and then they can sit down when they're in between events or something and sit and watch it. Or I'll send it to them sometimes. So yeah. I mean, Huddle is what I've used in the past. I didn't use it this last season. It's every year is different. Did Huddle change or something? No? I don't know why. We
They
just
increase their prices.
That's what it was.
Yeah, like ginormously.
Well, that makes sense.
And coach's eye.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Do other things.
Okay, so yeah, like if your school has an iPad, you can just use that and put it on there. But yeah, Huddle is a great way to get it out. I found that the kids weren't really watching their jumps when I put them on Huddle and then send them to them either as much. So I just get them in the moment, have them watch it.
If your school uses Schoology too, I make a Schoology group for just jumpers, and I can
That's
put
a good
videos up
idea.
there before practice if I want
Oh, I like
to
that.
see a drill that we're gonna do, or put their film of themselves. Too.
Film themselves. Okay, yeah, no, that's a good idea. I should do that. Okay, so then, let's see. Here's the other thing. Track is an individual sport. A lot of kids get in their heads. Like once they have one bad jump, they're like, I can't jump, I'm jumping bad. So like, I always just try to get them to focus on, this is an individual performance. I realize that. So be careful that you don't get in your own way. Don't get in your head, and sometimes you can't prevent that. But I talk about that a little bit. That I understand this is an individual sport. So then their whole meet is crap because they didn't jump good, you know. And like what other sport is like that? Not as much. We really get that in track and field. So yeah, I like to just make sure that we just had that conversation about it. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay, perfect. All right, let's go into any other questions on mental prep? Yes.
sometimes